Welcome back to Reel Fishing 3, the walkthrough. Today we are heading to the Yamame Mountain Stream, not the shallows today. We have bullhead, dace, splake, and Yamame trout. We have a little bit of information about the level here if you care to read through it. About the name of the river, it looks like our world is going to kind of be changing and a little bit fluid here. It's kind of cool. They may fix some suspension bridge, making the opposite bank inaccessible. There are references in some of the letters that maybe we will be able to go up there. I don't actually know. So let's take a look at our tackle. So L1 and R1 let you switch which kind of rod you've got. We've got our spinning rod, we've got our stream pole, which is like a cane pole here, and then we also have our fly rod. Now I'll tell you, we will not be doing our fly fishing in this video. Spoilers. I will try that out in another one of the stream videos. I talk a lot about them in Reel Fishing 1 and 2. Reel Fishing 2's fly fishing setup was pretty laborious. I did not enjoy it. I tried to avoid it when I could. Reel Fishing 1's was a little bit better. So we have some basic spinners and things with our basic spinning setup. A lot of times your defaults look good, but you can just kind of glance and see which species like which kinds of baits best. You can't actually look at the fish guide while you're out here. I guess that implies that all of your notes are back at the lodge. You don't have your notes out here with you in the field. So quick tip, if you want to see which kinds of species are at a site, there's a suspension bridge falling down, by the way. Go into the bait part and use the L2 and R2 to kind of scroll through. That'll show you which species are at the site. The dace here, it is mentioned in some of your materials about the fish species, are pretty hard to hook. Their bite is it's very, very quick. It's very fast. You've got to be right there to push that X button exactly when that bite starts. So I wanted to leave a couple of miss hook sets in this video, so you can see those. Just like the other reel fishing games, you have to establish a touch and a feel for each species, which is a cool part of these games. It's a neat thing that you have to kind of watch for that and say, ooh, it's that species, I need to do this or react to this way, or wait this long or not wait this long. So pretty cool depending on the bait and the fish species. So there is some current here, so your bait is going to move a little bit. I do have the spinner on and we are hooked up. So remember, we are looking in this level for the splake. The splake is the target species that will unlock the next one. There is a Yamame trout. The splake, I guess, apparently to this game is a hybrid of the Yamame and the char, which are in these waters. So you'll see some char and you'll see some Yamames. There's also the bullhead down there as well, and the splake is a mix between the two. I have to give a shout out to the game facts on this game. The game facts has been very helpful, much more than the manual to the game. Sean Krautwurst over on GameFAQs, Stormgeist is what they go by. Looks like it's from 2003, but it was pretty extensive even back then. Helped me with some of the finding fish species. Sometimes certain fish are in only certain spots of the level, and you have to kind of sight them out. There is a reference to that in the materials in the game. It says sometimes you have to sight fish by looking into the water for them. So it is it's quite difficult at times. So thank you very much to the author of that game fact. So here we have a little bit larger one. We've got a bit of a fight on our hands. As you can see, we're in a deeper spot, but the fish is, I guess, right up by the surface, so that's why we're in the overhead cam. I haven't quite gotten a good feel for when it switches between underwater and overhead cam. But the fighting strategy is the same. Keep the pressure on while they're kicking, and reel when you can turn them. There's the clicking sound. It's pushing, and you can hear like the line stretching as well. This is a little bigger one, a little bit more of a fight. We've only got, I think, 4-pound test line on here in this level. You've got a pretty small line. That one I tried to really hustle there. Even though it was kicking, I thought maybe I could kind of jerk it to get it over the finish line, but I just couldn't quite do it without getting the line tension. So we're going to try to turn them around and bring them in again, and there it is. I wanted to leave that one in to kind of show you how fights can go. These are, of course, edited sessions, so whenever I do make a skip, you will see the fade through. So just so you kind of know where there's a bit of a time jump in these. These sessions generally in the other games would take about 20 minutes or 30 minutes sometimes if it was a tricky one to navigate through a level, get used to the species, catch what I needed to catch, and then I edit it down into something that's a little bit more digestible for a viewer who just wants to see how this game looks and explore how to catch the different species. And I'll give you the best tips that I can, that I know. So I'm going to switch to the stream pole now. We've got the angle worm as your default bait. There's a number of other baits you can look at. You can set your line strength, and then you can set your depth right there. So the leader below the float, you can set your depth. And you do have to, when you're changing your equipment like this, you do have to like just go down and push accept, like finish the modification, which is kind of like push and go. I will make a note now. Interestingly, the splake is a fish that, according to the fact, there is only one splake on this level at any given time, and it generally hangs out in a very specific spot right up by that waterfall. I happened to hook and catch that splake on the very first cast of this level. So I'm not playing it in order or in sequence. We're going to catch that splake here in a little bit, but I just happened to go to that waterfall. I threw all the default equipment, the default bait, the default everything. I just threw it up there. I caught the splake right away. I didn't realize that it was something you were supposed to really have to hunt for. I just got insanely lucky that I just happened to throw right to the spot. So this is a little bit longer of a fight. I wanted to leave this one in here. This is even these small fish can sometimes put on a fight of a couple of minutes, and they can really pull. And get you out there and really test your line out. So I guess this is another 8-inch dace. This is not the longer fight. So I'm still on the cane pole here. We still have the angle worms. And sometimes because I jump around a little bit, you may actually see the weather change or the time of day change in these levels. These levels are dynamic, as I talked about before. So when the weather is different, the level looks different. Or when the time of day changes, the level does change. So when you see things going out of sequence, I hope you're not too bothered by that. I don't think it would be very exciting to watch unedited, long gaming sessions. And I don't know if it would be as educational as I like my videos to be. Some of the best praise that I can get in the comments on these videos is that somebody learned something or that they rediscovered something from years ago that they were not able to explore to its fullest, but they were able to enjoy through these videos. So there is a switch from the underwater to the overhead camera. Again, I think maybe it's just because of something to do with the depth of the water and the depth of the fish at the time. It's all right. We've got it turned. The stream pole does not have the cranking sound, just like in Real Fishing 2. The stream pole, as I said before, is basically a cane pole, it looks like in this one, although it doesn't work like any cane poles that I have ever used in my life of fishing. Generally, cane poles are pretty much held in your hand. The line is kind of a fixed length that's attached to the end of the cane pole, and you just kind of drop the bait within a couple of yards away from your feet. So at this point, I'm going here in the middle section, and I'm looking for another fish, and we have the salmon eggs on because I'm going for that bullhead. I'm trying to find where the bullhead is, but I did hook another dace, I believe this is. And this looks like a nicer one. You can just kind of tell by the size of the fish model. I suppose it looks like on the fact that there are times that you can kind of scout out areas of the level by hooking fish, just kind of intentionally, I want to hook a fish over here and get a layout of what the bottom looks like. So that is a nice tip that I will inherit from the Game FAQ and pass it on to you all here. There's the line getting taut. I'm not sure how we're reeling in this cane pole. I'm not sure where the line is coming from or where it's going. Cane poles sometimes have like a little spool that you can kind of wrap the line between two nails coming out of the end of your pole. And this is a fight with a little bit bigger fish, so you're going to hear that the line cranking sound is going to be playing pretty prevalently throughout this whole fight. And that's another common theme with some of the real fishing games, is that larger fish, you're generally at the very edge of your line strength for most of the fight. I am getting a feel for getting fish turned. There is kind of just a feel for when you pull and when you reel and when you turn things left and right. that helps you get fish turned around. I have learned that you do need to be more active. They will not generally tire themselves out if they just run. It seems like you do have to be taking some actions to get them turned around, some kind of movement on the rod in order to get fish back to where you can control them. So this one is coming in, again, even though we're not hearing the crank of the reel. I suppose this is because we have a cane pole or a stream pole. Also, I'm not sure how we're casting great distances with a cane pole. Might just be that it's a very long pole. I have seen videos of real-life fishers or anglers in Japan with very, very long cane poles dropping baits for ayu and other species that live in the waters there. There is an ayu fishing level in Reel Fishing 2 if you want to check that out. And here is my the dace of the day. 1 foot, almost 3/4 of a pound, a little over a foot. Very nice. That's the dace of the day. So right here is where I noticed that the bullhead, thanks to the fact, the bullhead sits right in the center of this level, very deep. So you can actually see a little brown dot. It's a little easier to see on the CRT television screen than on the capture here. But you can see a little brown dot that hangs out right in the middle there. And the bullhead is an easy hook. And you can see that it's in the catfish family, just like the bullheads that we have in North America. And it's an easy hook and an easy pull in because I think it's a very tiny fish. There we go, very short fight, 3 inches long, 0.2 of a pound. We're gonna let that bullhead go back and swim another day. And you can see this is the time jump to that very first cast that I made for the splake. So you're supposed to look, I guess, in that waterfall for a green splotch. That the splake is noticeably green in the water. You'll see it when we hook it. And here we are. This is the battle with the splake, and the green color is what you're supposed to look for if you're sight fishing for this fish. Right there it is. So we've caught the yamame, you've caught the dace. Here is the hybrid fish between them. The game does tell you that, or the game does mention that you used to ride your bike up here when you were kids with whoever this person is that's sending you these letters. You used to visit this very same stream. And this one is just a little bit longer battle, but about the same as what you've seen before. Fish kicks, you put the tension on, you get them turned with a combination of reeling and pulling. You can hear the sounds of the line stretching. You can hear the signs of the reel kind of groaning. You hear the pitch of the reel of your spinning rod kind of shift pitch a little bit, get a little bit lower. Seems like maybe when it's under more strain. But just being cautious. And when you hook this splake, especially if you've been going after it for a long time, you'll be very excited to have this one on. So hope you don't mess yours up when you hook your splake. And maybe you will hook yours on the first cast. There was a sign of the line stretching. And there's the line getting close to its breaking point. And the fish is just pulling, pulling, pulling. You never know if you're going to make it in here when you get to a point like this. The fish is just continually getting us farther and farther away. And I'm not able to get much on him, but eventually the fish does tire enough that I can turn it and bring it in. Because I am just using all the default equipment on this one. This was my first cast of the level. And when I hooked this fish, I remember thinking, wow, this is going to be a tough level if all the fish species are fighting like this. That's a pretty big jump from the pier, from the easy bluegills and the small bass to whatever this is. I obviously didn't know at the time. It looks like in this game, after you've spent a day in a level, you will get a letter from the mystery person that gives you some tips. I think that's the way the game wants you to experience this, where you explore a level for a day, do what you can do, catch what you can catch, and then when you come back that next morning, you get a letter with some fish data about if you want to catch this species, here's where it might be. If you want to catch this species, here's where it might be and what they might do. So the game probably wants you to experience that more organically. They didn't have in mind, obviously, that you would have a nice, handy game fact to check out. But it is impressive. I have to mention that again, all the way from 2003, the year the game's release, that it was that thorough. Someone went through a lot of trouble to make that. So this being our final battle on this one, we're going to unlock the shallows. That's with a boat level on the pier. We've got the boat fixed up. You saw in the pier video, the boat's fixed up, and we're ready to go out and explore the species of the lake. Bullheads will come back in another level, so I've got them checked off of my species list, so I probably will not need to chase the bullhead in the other stream. We've got that covered. And there is the jingle telling you that we have indeed unlocked the next level. So that's the special reel fishing jingle for the splake. I was very surprised. We're going to release it. I don't care about keeping them or going to the tank. That is it for this video. We're heading out to the shallows next time. If you like these, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, leave me a comment, hit me up on Twitter where I'm also active _ATE, and we will see you next time.